What's up? I'm Dale from Create a Pro Website, and today is an interesting video. Normally, I'm teaching you how to build professional websites from home using a laptop or a desktop computer. But nowadays, we all have mini computers sitting comfortably in our pockets. And for some, this may be all you have. So today, I'm going to show you how to build a website from your mobile phone. Here's an overview of the website I'm going to show you how to make. It's a personal portfolio website that has a full navigation menu at the top, fully functional buttons, custom images and text, a gallery, a video section, a working contact form, and more. In my last video, I reviewed the top 5 website builder apps for iOS and Android, and I found that the Squarespace app stood out among the rest because it was very easy to use, it had a ton of customization options, and was powerful enough to run not just a regular website, but also a blog, an e-commerce store, or any type of website that you want. So this is what we're going to be using to build our website today. So let's get started. Step number 1 is to download Squarespace and choose a template. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on the App Store. And then we're just going to search for Squarespace. And then if we scroll down, you can see that I've already downloaded it, so I've got the little cloud symbol. But if you haven't, you can just click on Get. And then just give that a second to download. And then just click on Open. And then we'll just click on Get Started. And there are tons of pre-made templates in here, and you can just keep scrolling through all these. And you can kind of see what they look like with the little thumbnails. But if you want to preview one, you can just click on the Preview button. And you can see what that looks like on desktop. Or you can change it to the tablet view up here. You can see what that'll look like on tablet, as well as mobile. So you get this little mobile simulation, and you can see what that looks like here. But I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go with the top one. So I'm going to go with this one. And then I'm just going to say, start with this design. And then we're just going to sign up for free. So I'm going to just continue with email, first name, last name, email address, and a password. Cool. So now we can move on to step number 2, which is to choose your fonts, colors, and animation. So to do this, we're just going to click on the Edit button for the editing the home page. And then you'll see this little paintbrush symbol up at the top right. So we're just going to go ahead and click on that. That is the Style Editor. And from here you can choose your fonts. And you can see we've got a mix of sans serif, serif, and mixed. And you can even pull this menu up if you want to get a bigger view. And you can just scroll through all these and kind of get a preview of what they look like, which is pretty cool. And we can go into the serif fonts as well. These are more like typing type fonts like Times New Romans, things that you would see in a book. And then you've got kind of a mix of both of these. But I'm going to go with sans serif. And you can see if we just change it to whatever we want, if I click on that Antone one, we can scroll down and you can see that now the text has changed on our site. So I'm going to go with a different one. Let's say, I'm going to go with Poppins, just like that. Then we'll scroll down, you can see that that's now changed. And then we can go back and we can choose our colors. So you can choose an accent color, a light color, and a dark color. And what that basically means is these light colors, like this white section here, if you go over to light, you can change that to, let's just say something crazy so I can show you the difference. We'll go to something like a kind of a dark blue like that and just go back. And then if you just click on Site Theme, you can change this. So now you can see that we've got that dark blue in our site theme. So if I wanted, I could change to maybe a light minimal. And now it's going to change that white section to blue. So these are the themes, or basically the color schemes. And then you can actually choose individual colors. So you can go with a dark color scheme or a light one or something with color in between. So if I wanted to go with kind of a black color scheme and I go up, now that whole section is black, which is pretty cool looking. I kind of like the way that looks. But if you do want sort of a colored theme, you can just go to this light minimal or light bold, or you can do dark minimal or dark bold. And all you'd want to do is just go back to the colors and change the light and dark colors, as well as the accent color if you want to as well. But for this case, I'm going to go to light and change that back to white. And then I'm going to go back to site theme. And again, I'm just going to go with the black bold, which again looks like this. But that is how to change the colors on your site, and that's going to change them on every page. So now you can see we've got this crazy blue section here, so we'd want to get rid of that. So I'm just going to click on the little paintbrush symbol again, and then just go back to colors, change my site theme. I'm just going to go back, whoops, open that back up, site theme. There we go. So if we go back to white minimal, that'll change it, or we can just go back to black bold again. There we go. So this is the way our site is looking now. So let's just open up that paintbrush symbol again. And you can also change the animations. So if we just go to animations and then click on style, we've got fade, which you can see a preview, the button and the site title kind of fade in. We've got scale, where they kind of grow and fade in. We've got slide, where they kind of slide up. Whoops. Let's open up the paintbrush symbol again. Animations, style. You've also got clip. But I kind of like just a standard fade, so I'm going to go with that. And you can also change the speed of the animation as well. So if we click on speed, you can make it go slow, medium, or really fast. And I kind of like fast. And then we can also change the style of our buttons. So if we click on buttons, we can change the style here, so we can do a solid button, or we can do just an outline. So now you can kind of see what that button looks like. I'm going to go with a solid button. And then go back, you can change the shape. So rounded has rounded corners. You can do a perfect square if you want, or you can do a pill, which I kind of like the look of the pill. So I'm going to go with that one. And if you ever lose that menu, just go ahead and click on the little paintbrush symbol and you can get that back. And then you've got the spacing, but I really don't recommend messing with the spacing because then you're going to mess with how this thing will look on tablet and desktop as well. So I think the spacing on all these themes looks fantastic. Really wouldn't recommend messing with it. Okay, so now we can close this menu and we can move on to step number 3, which is to customize your home page. So you can see that we're already in the editor section, which is indicated with the little blue lines around this section. If you click on another section, you can highlight that one and so on. And you can edit everything within each section. So if I just click on the top section up here, I can change the text by simply clicking on it. And then we can just double tap to highlight it, and you can just delete it if you want, or you can replace it as well. But I'm actually just going to delete that, and I'm going to edit this bottom text here. So we're just going to put that all on one line. I'm going to highlight it and replace it. And if you want, you can change how this text is aligned. So if we just highlight it, you can go left aligned, in the middle, or you can do on the right. I think in the middle looks pretty good. You can make it bold, italicized, whatever you really want. It's just like a word editor. And what we want to do is make sure that this text up at the top is an H1 heading, which it is. So for this text up here, you'd want to use H1. And then for the text down below, like say this text right here, you would want to do H2 or H3, because you want that main text at the top to be your main text, which should be the biggest text. So H1 is a bit bigger, H2 is a bit smaller, and H3 is even smaller. Now you can also change the background here. So if I just click anywhere, it will kind of get rid of that little menu. And we're just going to click on this whole section here. So if you just click on the background image somewhere, and then you can just click on this little pencil icon down at the bottom left, we can just go over to background, and then we can just replace this image. So you can do image or video. I'm going to do an image. So I'm just going to delete this one, and then I'm just going to scroll up and add an image. I'm just going to go to my photo library. It would like to access my photos. We're going to say OK. and then I'm just going to choose a photo. Cool, so now you can see my photo is in there. And then you can also change the opacity. So basically what this means is there's a black overlay over the image. So if I bring it all the way down, you can see that it is just the image. If I bring it all the way up, it kind of adds this black overlay on top so that you can read the text a bit better. So I'm going to say maybe something like a 30, like that, or even a 25 looks pretty good. Cool. Now we'll just go back, and then you can go over to Format, and then you can change what the height of this section looks like. So right now it's set to medium. You can do small, where everything's kind of crushed a bit more, or you can do large. And now you can see it takes up a lot more real estate. The image shows a lot more. So I really like the way that looks. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it as that. So just go back over to the little edit pencil button down at the bottom left. And then we can go back to Format. And you can also change the content width. So right now it's small. You can do medium or large, which doesn't really seem to be doing anything on this section, but it will on other sections. But you can also change the content alignment down here as well, but I like it all in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that. And then we can go over to colors. And then you can change the colors again of just this section. So instead of the entire website like I showed you earlier, you can change how just this section looks. But I've got an image on it, so I'm really not going to change the color scheme of this section. So I'm just going to click on back. And then I'm just going to lower this. And now we can change the button. So just go ahead and click on the button. And then you can change what the button says by clicking on this Learn More area. So I might do something like See Portfolio, just like that. And then I can add in a link. So this will go to a new page on your website. If you click on the little link symbol right here, then you can add a completely different URL if you want to. So let's just say that I wanted this to go, normally you'd want it to go to a page on your website that has a bunch of examples of your work. In this case, I'm just going to add in, let's say, like my YouTube channel URL, just so that the button kind of has somewhere to go. There we go. And then we'll just open this up in a new window. Cool. So now we'll just go back. And if we just pull this down, you can change the button size. So we can do a small button, medium, or a large button. But I think medium looks pretty good. And then you can also do on the left or the right or the center. But I'm just going to do center. Cool. So now I'll just pull this menu down, and I'm going to edit this section here. So I'm going to make this section kind of like my About Me section. So I'm just going to tap on the text, and I'll just change this to About Me, just like that. And then I'll edit this text as well. Cool. And I'm also going to double check that this About Me text is an H3, which it is. Cool. So now I'll just click off, and I'll just scroll down to this section. And actually what we're going to do is add a new section, which is just going to be an image. So I'm just going to click on the little plus icon right here. And then I'm going to go over to Images. And I'm just going to grab an image, which we'll just do this top one. But you can do different types. This one kind of has like a white border to it. This one's got a black background. Some of them have text on them. But I'm just going to go with a standard image. And that's just going to put the image in there. So I'm just going to replace this image by going to the little pencil icon down here. And then I'm going to go to background. And then I'm just going to replace it with an image of myself. Photo library. And I'll just grab this image of myself. Cool. And then we'll just go back. And then I'm going to go to Format. And I'm going to change this section to a medium, so that the image is a bit smaller. I don't want it to take up too much room. I just wanted it to be a photo of myself. Cool. So now let's add a photos section with a gallery. So to do that, I'm just going to click on the plus button to add a new section. And then I'm just going to go over to text. And then we can just scroll through and figure out which text that we want to use. And what I want is just this main bold text right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this one. And that's going to add that section. And we're just going to edit that text by double clicking. And I'm going to change that to photos. And we'll make sure it's an H3 heading so that it matches our About Me text. So you can see this photos text is the same size as the About Me text. And then we're going to go ahead and click on the little pencil icon again to open up that menu and go over to Format. And we're going to change that to a small section like that. And then we're just going to come down and click on the plus icon again on the bottom plus button because we want to add a new section underneath this block. And then we're going to go over to Gallery. And then you can pick what your gallery will look like. So this is just 4 images all in one. We've got 6. Then we've got kind of this mosaic looking effect, which is pretty cool. We've got this mosaic effect, a bunch of different ones. And I kind of like the ones that have a little bit of space in between the images. So I'm going to go with this one. And then just go ahead and click on the little picture icon down at the bottom left. And we're just going to click on Edit and just delete all of these images. Confirm. And then we're just going to click on the plus button to add more images. And then go over to Photo Library. And I'm just going to grab a bunch of images. Just like that. And then click Done. And then just give that a second to load all of these images. And then just click on Done. And we'll just pull this menu down. And now you can see that we've got our little mosaic gallery, which is really cool looking. And it matches the rest of the photos on my website. These are actually personal photos from my Instagram. Cool. So now we can go ahead and add a videos section. And these don't have to just be photos and videos sections. You can do whatever it is, whatever your niche is or your hobby or whatever it is that you want to display on your portfolio, you can do. So let's go ahead and just add a video section for myself, and I'll add some YouTube videos. So I'm just going to click on the little plus button to add a new section underneath this. And I'll go over to text again. And then we'll just scroll down, grab that same header text, like this one. And then we'll just edit it to say videos. Change it to an H3. And then we'll just go back to the little pencil icon down at the bottom left. Go over to Format and change it to a small section, just like that. And then we'll add in some videos. So we'll just click on the little plus button down at the bottom below this one. And then I'm going to go over to Video. And here you can display whatever or you can pick a card to figure out how you're going to display your videos. So you've got some with text over top, some with text on the bottom if you want to explain what your videos are about. But in this case, I am just going to do the one with 2 videos, just like this. And I'll just start by changing the text. And if you wanted, you could even just make this text say videos. But I already have videos written, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. And I'll come over to this text and just hit the backspace to move that up. Actually, I am not going to do that because now videos has all this space around it and then this text. So I'm actually going to hit the return key a couple times, and I'm just going to write videos in here. Change that to an H3. Whoops. Just like that. And then I'm actually going to delete this section. So I'm just going to click out of here and then hit the little trash can right here down at the bottom right. And I'm just going to confirm. Cool. So now we've got videos in this little card and the spacing looks a lot better. So let's change these videos. So you can just go ahead and click on one. And then you can put in a YouTube link right here. So I'm going to go ahead and go over to YouTube and grab a video. I'm just going to go over to my channel. Go over to videos, and I will just grab, let's say, how to make a website in 10 minutes. I'll just grab that one. just go to share and copy the link. And I'll just put that in, paste it. There we go. And then you're going to want to go to custom thumbnail, and you're just going to want to turn that off, that little switch. Then go back and it will display whatever thumbnail is actually on YouTube. Cool, so now let me change the bottom one as well. So again, I'm going to go back over to YouTube, and I'll just grab maybe this one, how this website makes $500,000 a month. It's a good video, recommend checking that one out. And I'm just going to put that in. Custom thumbnail. And then turn that off. Go back. Now you can see I've got both my videos here, which is really cool. And next I'm going to add a services section. So I'm just going to scroll down, and I'm just going to click on this little add a new section plus button right here. And I'm going to go over to list, which I'm already on. You might be on video. Just go over to list, just like that. And then you can pick whatever list you want. So this one has images in it. I'm actually going to scroll down. You can see there's some kind of white blocks ones. It really just depends on whatever you want. I don't really want to put images on this section because I've already got a lot of images on my site already. So I'm going to go with maybe something like this, or like this that has 3 different ones. So I'll just click on this card, and then that's just going to add that in. So I'll just change the text at the top to say services, and it's an H3. And now you can see that since I have this as an H3, I can't go any smaller than that. So really what I want to do is change all these over to H2. So if I just highlight that, change it to H2, and then just go up, change videos to an H2, as well as photos, H2, and then about me, we'll also change that to H2. Now what I can do is go down another level. So now Dream It, if I click on that text, that is now an H3. So it doesn't get confusing. So I'll just change that Dream It text to say something like web design. And then I would want to write a bunch of stuff about web design in here, which I'm not going to bore you with writing a description here. You get the idea on how to change text. I'll change this one to, let's say, photography. And then I'm also going to change this one to videography. There we go. And then you just want to write about your skills in each one of these sections. Or you can add photos to these by going and choosing a different card, and you can kind of give some examples of each one of these works. So if I did web design, I'd want to show an example of one of the websites I made. Photography, I'd want to show an example of one of my photos, and so on. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it as just this text list. And then you can go, or you can change the button here by clicking on this. And again, I might want to change this one to something like, you know, contact me, or we could do see portfolio, just like we did at the top. And then again, you can change the link by clicking here and putting in a custom link, which I showed you how to do earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave that blank. And it looks like our text didn't quite update. So let's click on that again, maybe add a space. There we go. Now it updated. And you can delete any section you want by simply clicking on it, which I just clicked in the black area kind of behind everything, like the background. And then you can just click on the little trash can. And we'll just confirm. I'm also going to do that with this section. Whoops. And I'll just click on the little trash can. Confirm. There we go. And I'm also going to get rid of this little subscribe section as well. So trash can, confirm. All right, so now let's move on to step number 4, which is to add a contact form. Having a contact form on your website is absolutely a must. So let's go ahead and add one. So to do that, you can just click on this whole section here, and then you'll see the little plus button down at the bottom. We're just going to click on that. And then we're going to go over to Contact. And then you can just pick a form. Now, I personally like the one at the top, but you can see that you've got a few different options here. But again, I like the one at the top. So let's just go ahead and go with that one. Keep it simple. There we go. And the first thing that I'm going to do is actually change the background, because we go from this whole black section over to another black section down here. So I'm going to change this to maybe a white section. So to do that, just click on the little pencil icon down at the bottom left, and then just go over to Colors. And then I'm going to change it to, let's say, a white minimal, like that. Now we can kind of see what that looks like. It's looking a lot better. And you can kind of ignore this gray space in between the black and the white. That's actually just for editing the footer. If you click on Edit the Footer, that'll go away. So first thing I'm going to do is just change this text to say, Contact me. And you can also put it in the middle if you want to as well. But I'm going to leave it on the left. And then you can simply just change this text here by double-clicking, putting in your email, your phone number, and your address, or you can delete them if you want to. You can also hook up your social buttons by clicking on the little social buttons widget here, and then you can also change how those are centered. But again, I'm going to leave everything over on the left. And if you click on the contact form below, here is where you can actually add in new form fields, and you can add in your email to make sure that you're actually going to receive all these emails. So first, let's make sure that we hook up the correct email so that these will go to the correct inbox. So we're just going to click on Storage. And then you can just put in your email up here at the top. And I'll just put in the email. Just like that. And then just click on Connect. And then back. And then we'll go back again. And then just click on Form Fields. And here's where you can edit each form field. So you can see that we've got name, email, message, and we can even add new ones. So if we just click on Add, you've got all these different items that you can add, like a date, or you can do some sort of a checkbox field, really whatever you want. But I kind of like the form just the way it is, keeping it simple, so I'm not going to add anything new. And if you click on one of the existing form fields, like let's say name, you can change the title of that field, and you can decide whether it's going to be required or not. Now I'm going to leave the name required. And personally, I think all of these fields should be required. So I'm going to click on email, make sure that's required, as well as message, and that's required as well. Cool. And then whenever you're done, you can just click on Apply. And you can also change the name of your form here by clicking on the new form underneath form name. And let's just say I want to do Dale's contact form. But nobody's going to see this name, so it's really just for you. And then again, I'll click on Apply. Cool. So now we've got a working contact form. And now we can move on to step number 5, which is to edit the footer. Cool. So this one's actually pretty simple. So what we're going to do is just scroll down to the bottom and just click anywhere on that footer. And then what you can do is just triple click the text in order to change it if you want. You can put in your email, your address. You can also delete this whole Made with Squarespace right here. And I will put something like Dale, I'll put my name, and then I'll do something like copyright, whoops, spell copyright correctly, 2020. Something like that. Looks pretty official. Or we'll change this dash to maybe like this line, like that. That looks pretty good. And then you can add other text in here if you want, and you can also create links. So let's say that maybe I wanted to add like a privacy policy or terms and conditions pages. What we can do is just go to the top of the text, and we'll just hit the return key a couple times, and I will add in privacy, capitalize it, policy, and then we can also do terms and conditions. And then we'll just delete that little space there. And then what you can do is just highlight this privacy policy text and then click on the little link button right here. And then once we actually added a privacy policy page to our website, which I will show you in one of the next steps, you could just click on it here. Or you could just go over to the link button and then put in the permalink or the URL to this page on your website. Cool. So just go ahead and click on done. And you can do the same thing for the terms and conditions. So now let's move on to step number 6, which is to add new pages. So in case you want to add a whole separate page, maybe for your About Me, or again, something like privacy policy or terms and conditions, I will show you how to do that now. So first, let's just go ahead and click on Done up at the top left. And we will save the changes. And then we'll just go ahead and click on the arrow up at the top left as well to close that. And then just click on Pages down at the bottom. And here you can see we've got a lot of existing pages already. So if you don't want these, let's just go ahead and delete them. So to do that, you just simply swipe one of them to the left, and then you'll see Delete. Just like that. Again, I'll do that with projects, as well as what we do. And I'm actually just going to get rid of the entire About section and click on Delete, as well as News and README. We're just going to get rid of everything, because I'm going to show you how to start from scratch. So to add a new page, you just simply click on Add. And then you can start from a blank page or choose a page layout. I'm just going to go ahead and start from a blank page. And then just give it a title. So let's say that we wanted to create a whole About section. We'll do About. I'll do About Me, like that. And then just click on Create up at the top right. Cool, so now that About Me page was just added to your main navigation. So now you can just go ahead and click on it. And here you've got a nice blank page to start from. So we can just go ahead and click on Edit. And then just click on the plus button to add page content. And this all works exactly the same as how I showed you to customize your homepage. So you just simply select a category and then choose a block within that category. So I could do like an image. And then I could just choose what kind of image I want, maybe one with text on it, maybe a whole row of images. If this was an About Me section, maybe I would want to do something like this. And then I could just go ahead and click on the image itself and then just replace it. There we go. Now I've got an image of me, and then replace the text as well by just triple clicking. And I could just do About Me and then write a bunch of stuff about myself underneath. Now I'm not going to go through building this entire page since I showed you how to do all this while customizing the home page. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on Done and then Save Changes. And then I will just close this with the little arrow up at the top left. And again, you would want to do the same thing if you wanted to create a privacy policy page or terms and conditions. You just add a new page, and then you would just write all of your privacy policy terms in there, or you can find some on Google. It's pretty standard. There's some templates out there that you can actually start from. And now we can move on to step number 7, which is to create a navigation menu. So every website on the internet has a navigation menu where people can go to this menu and go to different parts of your website or different pages specifically. So you actually do that here in this menu here. So you can see we've got main navigation up at the top. We would just want to add some items to that. So let's say we wanted to add our contact page or maybe a whole different contact page. Well, you can see that there's already a demo one created, so I'll just go ahead and use that one. But if you want, you can create one from scratch by using the tips that I showed you in the last step. So we'll just go ahead and click on Manage. And then we can just grab the little hamburger symbol over on the right side of that contact page. And then you can just drag that up into your main navigation, just like that. And then let's say I wanted to add a whole nother page to that navigation menu that was all about Hire Me. And I was, promoting all of my services on this page. Well, I'll just go ahead and create a new page for that. So I'll just go to Add. And then I'll just do blank page, and I'll just call this Hire Me, and then create. And then just give that a second, and you should see it pop up. And then you can just reorder these if you're in the Manage menu by just simply clicking on the little hamburger symbol and moving them however you want. And if you want, you can even create sub-navigation by creating a folder. So let me show you what I mean. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete that Hire Me page. And I'm going to create it again. So I'm just going to go to Add. And then I'm going to go down to Folder down at the bottom. And then I'll create a Hire Me folder. Or maybe you want to do something like Services. And then just click on Create. And then now you can see that folder was added, and there's an extra Add button below it. So let's add some pages into that Services folder. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on Add. I'll do a blank page, and I'll call this one maybe Web Development. And then just click on Create. And then in that page, obviously, I would want to show off my web development skills and talk about web development. And I'll also add another one, so I'll just click on Add. And then go to Blank Page. I'll do this one as, let's say, Photography. And then Create. And then we'll just do one more, so Add, Blank Page. And then I could do maybe Videography. Or it might be Marketing, or whatever it is that you're good at. And then just click on Create. And then just go ahead and click on Done. And now I will show you what that menu looks like on your website. So let's just go over to Home. And then we'll just scroll down, and we're just going to click on Edit for the home page. And then if we just immediately click on Done, that will bring us to a preview of our website. And now we can just click on the little two lines up at the top right to get to our menu. Now you can see we've got our About Me page, Contact page, and then Services. If we click on that, now we've got all of the different pages within that Services folder, which is really cool. Cool, so now let's move on to step number 8, which is to edit the header. So as you can see from our current header, it's pretty boring. It just says your site title. So let's go ahead and customize this, make it look a little bit better. I'll even show you how to change the layout. So in order to do that, just go ahead and click on the Edit button up at the top right. And then just click anywhere on that header. And then here, if you just click on Header Layout, and then here is where you can change how this layout is going to look on desktop. So you can see if I scroll through these, we've got the logo in the middle with items underneath it. This is all how it's going to look on the desktop. You really don't have a lot of control over the way it looks on mobile because there's only limited real estate on a mobile phone. So having this little hamburger menu is really the only way to go because it would be way too crowded to put all of your navigation items up in that header on a mobile phone. Okay, so let's just go ahead and click on back. I'm just going to leave the header layout the way that it is. And then we'll go down to site title and logo. And then we want to make sure that we change our site title. So Google is actually going to read this and figure out what your website is about. So if this is a personal one, it's not going to matter a whole lot, but I'm going to just go ahead and put my name. And then I'll just do personal portfolio, something like that. And then we can add a logo to this. So we can just go ahead and click on Site Logo. And now I've already got a logo made, but if you do want to make a logo, this is the only thing that I recommend doing on a computer because it's going to go a lot faster and it will be completely for free. So I've got a whole tutorial on this that is only 5 minutes long. It shows you how to do it very fast with an online free software. So I will put that video in the description in case you're interested. Alright, so again, I've already got one made, so I'm just going to go over to my photo library and I'm just going to choose that logo. And there you can see my logo. It's just my name and some white text. And then you can also change the size of the logo by using the logo height and the max height. But honestly, the way that it gives it to you looks pretty good. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave it. And then just click on back. And then we can just go down to colors. And then right now we currently have it as a transparent header. So if I just click on that, that will make it a colored header. And then you can choose how that's going to look. So right now I've got this black one. I could do a white one if I want, which now my logo is going to disappear. So if you do a white header, you're going to want to make sure that you use a black logo. But honestly, I really like the transparent header. So I'm just going to go ahead and check that back on. and then click back. And then if you want to, you can actually just go over to Elements, and then you can change what that button says. So right now the button's not going to show up on mobile, but it will on desktop. So right now you can actually even disengage the button by clicking on that little slider, and you can get rid of the button altogether if you want. But if you do want one, then you can change the text here by simply saying something like "See Portfolio," something like that. And then you can decide which page that this button is going to take them to. So right now it's going to the Take Action page. I could just select a new page. So if I just click on the little X, I can just tap there again, and I can write in / whatever that page is to the URL on my website. Or I can just add it in here by clicking on the little link and then just adding in the URL. But currently I don't really have a page where I want this to go to. Actually, you can even select it down at the bottom here too. Instead of writing it in yourself, you can select which page. So let's say I wanted the button to go to, maybe web development. I could just click on that, and then that will add that in right there. And then just click on back, and then back again, and we will just close this, and then just click on done, and save your changes. So now we can move on to step number 9, which is to make your site live. So if we just go up to the little arrow up at the top left and close this, you can see that there's this random URL at the bottom, and it's got a .squarespace.com/home. This is the current URL that you're using, and it's actually set on private, so you won't even really be able to share it with anybody. So first, let me show you how to change that. So what we're going to do is just go over to Settings, and then just scroll down and you'll see Site Availability. Click on that. And then you've got one option grayed out, which is public, and you have to select the plan for that, which I'll show you in just a second. But if you don't want to pay for it, you want to keep it completely free, you can do password protected. And then you can just enter in a password, which I'll just put password. Super secure. And then you can now share this URL with anybody, and then all they have to do is put in that password. So if you just click on save, now you can just share that URL around. And if you want to share it easily, you can just go to the back button and then just pull up your website here at the bottom. And then you can just click on the little 3 dots and then just click on share page, and you can send it to anybody that you want. But we're going to go back. And we're going to go back over to Site Availability, and we're going to select a plan. Now you've got a few different options here. You've got the Personal, the Business, the Commerce Basic, and then the Commerce Advanced. Now I really don't recommend any of these except for the Personal, which you can click on See All Features for any one of these to see what that includes. But we're going to go with the cheapest one, which is the Personal. So just go ahead and click on Purchase. And then it says you're all set, your purchase was successful. I'll just click on OK. And then we can switch to Public, where anybody can view this site. And then just click on Save. And then we will just skip this. Cool. But now if we hit the back button, you can see down at the bottom, we still have this crazy URL that really doesn't make a lot of sense. So let me show you how to get a new one. So what we're going to do is actually just go over to Safari and just go to login.squarespace.com, and then you can just log in with that account that we made earlier. And then once we're here, just go ahead and click on the image of your site and click on Edit Site. And then just go down to Settings, and then just go down to Domains. And you can change this free domain down here. So if we just go ahead and click on that, you can now give it a new name, which will be whatever the name is, .squarespace.com. So I could do Dale McManus, like that, and then just click on Rename. And then it'll just say, hey, are you sure? It might break some links on your site. So obviously, if you did put any URLs on your site, then you'd want to go ahead and change those to the new domain. But we're just going to go ahead and click on Confirm. Cool, so now you can actually see up at the top in the URL, it says dalemcmanus.squarespace.com. And if you wanted to get a fully custom domain, like let's say yourwebsite.com, and you can leave out the Squarespace, let me show you how to do that. So we'll just go over to settings again, and then go back down to domains, and then we'll just click on get a domain. And then you can just search for one here. So I'll do Dale McManus website, and then we'll do .com like that. So I'll just grab that top one for 20 bucks, and then that will add that to my cart. So then I can just click on checkout, and then you just want to put in all of your information and then go to save and continue, and then put in your credit card information, and then we'll just go to confirm and purchase. Cool, now it'll say your registration is processing. So then we can just go ahead and click on the X. And now you can see it's in yellow and it says registration in progress. So once that's done, you can just refresh the page, and whenever you see it in green, which will look like this, then you know that it's registered and hooked up. Cool, so now that that's in green and our new domain name is active, let's go ahead and take a look at our website. So I'm just going to open up a new window and put in our new domain name. Awesome, so our website is looking great. And it's on our new custom domain, which is fantastic. Everything is looking good. And our contact form is all hooked up and ready to go as well. Alright guys, if you liked that video and you'd like to learn how to build professional and beautiful websites even more in depth using a computer, feel free to check out the description for one of my step-by-step tutorials. Also, feel free to hit that like button or drop me a comment. Every like and comment helps my channel grow so that I can keep putting out tutorials like this. Or subscribe if you want to see more videos on how to build professional websites or even make a passive income with websites. Alright, I'm Dale from Create a Pro Website. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.